Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs, and he's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no games with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or find him online at bryanismyagent.com. That's bryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. We were all wrong. We were so concerned about the quarterback competition. We spewed opinions left and right, me included. Made a lot of videos about who should start, why they should start. When should Fields come in? Should he sit all year? We made so many videos about it. We talked our asses off about it. But the truth is, as we see the Bears make their cuts to the roster, there's a much bigger concern than the quarterback position. A dire concern. It echoes kind of what I said last week. This team needs help. Justin Fields will not succeed if he has no team around him. And this could be a situation where he's talented, throws the ball well, elevates some players, but because he doesn't have anything around him, he may not work. As of today, the Bears only have 4 cornerbacks. I'll repeat that. As of today, the Bears only have 4 cornerbacks. 4. Lost Kyle Fuller. What a horrible move that was this offseason. And now all they have for the secondary is 4 guys. Jalen Johnson, Kendall Vildor, Duke Shelley, and Xavier Crawford. I don't know what they're going to do. Look, if you can't defend the pass game, you're going to lose. Just plain and simple. There's no capacity for them offensively to keep up in a shootout. That's just a fact. They do not have the capacity nor the talent offensively to put up 30 points a game, especially if Matt Nagy's calling the plays. So when you can't protect the deep ball, when you have nothing to help you, when you have only literally 4 cornerbacks on the roster in and of itself, you're in big trouble. Not like all those guys are household names, too. Dan Wiederer said veteran cornerbacks Artie Burns and Desmond Trufant were both let go. The Bears' depth chart at quarterback right now seems questionable. Rookie Thomas Graham Jr. was also waived, but will likely be back on the practice squad. Not going to win with 4 cornerbacks, plain and simple. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many points you score as a team. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes and you have the weapons that Mahomes has. Tyreek Hill, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce. You are not going to beat any team. You are not going to win with 4 cornerbacks. Plain and simple. And it'd be different if these guys were top-tier guys. Darrelle Revis in his prime. Something like that. But that's not the case here. Johnson had an okay year last year, but not all these guys are really household names. They're not superstars. They're really nothing. Boy, did we get this one wrong. I'll keep saying it. We were so concerned. Fields, Dalton, who's going to start? I'm going to cry if Fields doesn't start game 1. It's a travesty to sit him. But in reality, it won't matter who starts game 1. It won't matter who starts game 15. Not if you only have 4 cornerbacks. The receivers, too. Daz Newsome was cut. Well, put on waivers. Very surprising. I certainly didn't expect it. I really thought Newsome would actually be a key piece on this team. I know Rodney Adams outplayed him, and Rodney Adams deserved his spot, no question. But I really thought Daz Newsome would kind of be like a Darnell Mooney. 5th round pick, he was 6th round, maybe he could turn something in and put up a good performance. He did nothing. Riley Ridley was put on waivers too. Really don't understand either of those 2 moves. The Bears talked very highly of Ridley in the past, but he never played. Newsome was very much hyped up. Now, technically, never played. They also lost Javon Wims. That was last week. Now, the Bears just did sign Brashad Perriman to a one-year deal. Great move, in my opinion. 12 games last year, 500 receiving yards. Known to be a deep threat, usually, averaging about 16.5 yards per catch. Love the move. When's he going to play? Where's he going to go? Is he the number 3 wide receiver? Robinson, Mooney, Perriman, not bad. But I don't like the way they dealt with Newsome. Kind of faked everybody out, you know? They hyped him up a lot. Actually, more hype than he deserved. Now he's cut. What? I don't get it. Totally faked us out on that one, and I didn't expect that whatsoever. That was really a shock to see. Now we have more news too. Tariq Cohen's on the PUP list. Tariq Cohen will not be playing to start the year. He will miss the first 6 games of the season. Kevin Jenkins is on the IR already. I mean, this team's already banged up. We haven't even played a game yet. There hasn't been one game yet. And we're still talking about injuries. IR stints. 6 weeks missing. Pretty surprising to me. Look, I knew this team wasn't great. I knew they weren't, a 12-win team, division winner. But they're already dealing with injuries. And they only have 4 cornerbacks. You tell me what the problem is. I am genuinely shocked. I'm just surprised. I don't know how to react to this. Now, the good thing is, Khalil Herbert, Damian Williams, David Montgomery will anchor the backfield. So the run game is fine without Cohen. That's the good thing. But the receiving game, to me, is still up in question. I don't know what Perriman's going to do here, especially since he was just signed today. I don't know how that's going to play out. You lose Newsome. You lose Wims, which was a great move. You bring in Rodney Adams. Andy Dalton is your week 1 starter as of today. You only have 4 cornerbacks, too. Danny Trevathan's hurt. And Alec Ogletree is expected to make the roster. I mean, these are so many small things, but when you put them all up on a list, you kind of go, yikes. Like, what happened? This is a beat-up football team. And that's scary. That's very scary to see them at this point without one game being played in this position. I'm telling you, we were all wrong, dead wrong, about this team. And there were some of you, to your credit, who always posted this offseason. What about the defense? What's going to happen with the defense? The defense is regressing. They're aging. You were all 100% right, and you know who you are. Look, I knew they'd regress, but I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think they'd start the season with 4 cornerbacks. That I just didn't expect. At all. You can all agree or disagree, but here's the fact of the matter. This team right now is a 7-win team max, even if Justin Fields plays. And again, that's not an indictment on Fields. He has nothing around it. Look, when the Bears went 12-4 in 2018 with Mitch, I will admit that the defense had a lot to do with that. 30-plus turnovers, always found a way to shorten up the field for Mitch, made things easier. He was comfortable, the defense was comfortable, everybody worked. This year, if you're a quarterback, you have no O-line. Tariq Cohen's hurt. It's not a brand new wide receiver who hasn't even practiced with you yet. Then you go to the defense and you're like, what are they going to do? No secondary, so if I'm a quarterback, I better put up 30 points a game or else we're screwed. Not the right message you want to send. Believe it or not, defenses help quarterbacks win games. They have the ability to shorten the field, limit the other team. That comforts the quarterback, allows him to go off and not have to worry about putting up 30, 40 points a game. So when you have this issue, when it's being said that you have no secondary, that one of your running backs is hurt, that you bring in a new wide receiver today, you cut Daz Newsome, how are you supposed to win football games regularly with all those moves? That's the concern I got. This really is not a good situation. I cannot underscore that enough. We were all so concerned and so enraptured in the Fields-Dalton controversy. I was more than anyone. I'll be honest, I was. I really did not want Fields to start right away, and fortunately he isn't. And when you look at this team today, tell me it'd be a good idea. I dare you. Tell me it'd be a good idea to put him out there with no secondary, the expectation to put up 30 points a game, an injured running back, and a brand new wide receiver you've never met before. Oh yeah, and that's right, no offensive line. Still, that's still a problem. It's not gone, it's just under the list now. It's not a new problem. I don't regret my stance on that. What I do regret is now talking about the other issues more. We were all bamboozled. I'm serious. We were all so worried about the quarterback situation that we forgot about the other stuff going on. The other issues with this team. That's why when people say the Bears are a 6, 7, 8 win team, I don't cringe. I don't get mad. That's about correct. Look at this roster. 4 cornerbacks, no offensive line, new receivers, Tariq Cohen hurt. Tell me this team is going to be great. They're not. It's going to be a tough year. It really is. It's not going to be easy for this team to do anything. And that goes back to the draft. When we talked about them taking Fields. What was the point of the 2021 season? Development. Fields is going to come in week 4, and if he could go 500 and show signs of improvement over time, that's all that matters. That's it. This is not a playoff year. This is not a win 12 games, win the division year. This is all about developing Fields to be your franchise guy. Some could say, well, that means putting him in right away. Not necessarily. That means bridging Dalton to Fields and having him play the rest of the way. When that happens, we need to see growth. The good thing is Fields will play with real wide receivers. So more of his passes won't be dropped. He'll have an okay run game. I mean, he should be okay from an offensive standpoint. The results, though, may not be there. That's because your defense is giving up 30 points a game. You can't tell me I'm wrong there either. The first string defense gave up 30-plus points to Mitch Trubisky in one half. What do you think is going to be different against Matthew Stafford week 1 in Los Angeles? No. Not going to happen that way. Really think the cause for concern here is not Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. That will happen when it's supposed to happen. It's not a problem. It's not going to kill Fields to be put in week 4. Everybody's going to complain and worry. At the end of the day, he'll come in when he's supposed to, and I'm sure he'll do fine. He won't be a bust. He won't be horrible. But we do want to see improvement. The real concern is how are you going to win one game with this defense? You're going to need to heavily rely on your offense to get things done. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am saying it's going to be tough for a quarterback to perform under that pressure. Oh, it's the NFL. He should be able to do it. Well, not every quarterback, even the great ones, put up 30 points a game. It's not feasible. It's not feasible to do that. There are times in which you need help from your defense. It's just that simple. You're not going to be on every game. You're not going to be putting up 5 touchdowns a game. No. Sometimes you'll need a defensive stop, a forced fumble, an interception, not 60-yard touchdown again, and we're behind the 8 ball. And the Bears in this situation, when you only have 4 corners, that could be a problem. a recurring problem that needs to be fixed. That's the main concern here. We really don't know how that's all going to play out for the Bears. We all made a big mistake, admittedly. Me too. We worried so much about Fields and Dalton. Everybody did, not just me. Everybody was so enraptured. Staunch debates, name calling, put in Fields, put in Dalton, everybody going back and forth. When in reality, whomever starts, whomever it is, they have no team around him. You're not going to win anything. Maybe Fields will be marginally better than Dalton, but with this team, with this roster, as it stands today, don't expect much success. I am still going to say 7-10. We're going to do a schedule prediction, too, and a big season preview next week. Right now, 7-10. Top schedule, no team, quarterback controversy. You tell me which teams succeed in that environment. Name me one. Bears fans, please temper expectations and remember, keep this in mind, what's the point of this season? We all knew no playoff appearance. Come on, no way. No Super Bowl, not yet. The number one reason the Bears would even compete this year was for development. Is this team a proven winner? Can we galvanize and rally around Justin Fields? Is he a real quarterback? Or is this all fake? Need to find out. This is the year to do it. Imagine if Fields plays 8 or 9 games, puts up decent numbers, and there's growth, development. Next year starts all year, and the Bears are a 12-win team. Possible. But you can't start winning unless you go through some pains first. Very few quarterbacks come in and just win. Not because of their talent, but because of the team around them, too. That plays a big factor here. Justin Fields could come in, throw for 300 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, or 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. It won't matter if the defense can't limit the other team. If this defense can't shut down the deep ball, the other teams are scoring 21, 25, 30 points a game. It's going to be pretty damn tough to even win one game, no matter how well Fields does. He'll have to throw for literally 5 touchdowns a game. And I love Justin Fields, but there is no way that's going to happen. So just something to be concerned over. The fact that they have this many injuries and the season hasn't started yet is appalling, number one. The fact that we worried so much about quarterbacks when that really won't be the problem is even worse, number two. And this team today, as it's assembled, is a 7-win team at best, number 3. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Bill Rogers comes up next, so stay tuned.